Hi, my name is Tammy. I am adopted, originally from China. I never met my biological mom and dad. When I was only a baby, my adoptive parents flew all the way to my home village. They're both journalists and were writing stories about my home village. My mom told me that she found me abandoned in a small crate next to a tree. The moment she saw me, she felt like I was her daughter. So she did. And a few weeks later, I moved to America with them. Growing up, my parents were really caring. We celebrated birthdays, Christmas. We went on fun holidays. There was only one thing that I felt was a bit off about my parents. They were very secretive about this one room in the house. My mom put a strong padlock on the door and I was never allowed inside. When I was about 6 years old, I spotted my dad coming out of the room drenched in a red substance. When I asked him about it, he said that he was experimenting with something for work, so I just forgot about it. A few years later, when I was about 8 years old, something really strange happened. One night, while laying in bed, I heard a tapping sound coming from the room. I put my ear against the door. The tapping sound was coming from inside, and it sounded like a girl singing. I made sure my parents weren't awake, and I turned the doorknob. Surprisingly, it was unlocked, so I entered. There was a big white sheet hanging from the ceiling. It seemed like it was covering a bed. The girl's singing became louder. Just as I was about to pull the sheet away, my parents were screaming, "Tammy, what did we say? You're not allowed in here!" They yanked me out of the room and put me back into bed. My dad explained that it was a research project for his job. I pretended to fall asleep, and my mom told my dad, "She's getting curious. We need something to keep her occupied." The next morning, the room was completely empty, as if nothing was ever there. That morning at breakfast, my parents announced that they were going to adopt a boy, and he was moving into that room. And he did, that night. We became a happy family. I really loved my new brother. We did everything together. On my 15th birthday, he got me a key-shaped pendant necklace. Since then, I've never taken it off. It was like I completely forgot about that mysterious room. A few days after my birthday, my mother came rushing into my room. "Did you see someone running through the house?" She was hysterical. At first, I thought she was making a joke. I laughed, but then realized she was serious. No, I said. My mother jumped in her car and drove off. This was so weird. No one else was home, so I went downstairs to the basement to start folding the laundry. That is when I spotted an open door. Usually the big cupboard would be pushed against the wall, but for some reason it was moved away, revealing an opening. The open door led to a small bedroom. I was in total shock. Inside was a bed, bedside table, drawings, girl clothes, and a few toys. Was someone living in here? I was so scared that I ran to my bedroom. A few hours later, my mom came rushing back into the home. I could hear someone screaming, "Let me go! Let me go!" I could hear my mom saying, "Hush now, it's for the best." And then there was silence. Around the dinner table that night, everyone was quiet. My mom and dad were looking at each other, and my brother was trying to lift the mood by making jokes. "Knock, knock. Who's there?" "Hatch." "Hatch who?" "Bless you." And we all laughed. I waited for everyone to fall asleep, and then I slowly made my way into the basement. The cupboard was moved back against the wall. As quietly as I possibly could, I moved the cupboard. There was the door, but it was locked. I stood there with my hand on my pendant. And then I got an idea. I took my key-shaped pendant and tried opening the lock, and it worked. Inside the room, a dim light was shining. There was someone sleeping in the bed. With a whimpering voice, I said, "Hello?" The person in the bed woke up in a fright. "Who are you?" she said, and put on her bedside light. I am you." It was as if I was looking into a mirror. The girl in front of me looked exactly like me. For a few minutes, we were completely stunned just looking at each other. We started talking and realized that we had the same birthday. It was clear that this girl was my twin sister. I didn't want my parents to know that I figured it out, so every night for the next few months, I would visit Eliza. I would tell her everything about the outside world and school. I finally understood what a twin connection felt like. We had the same way of speaking, moving, and we even had the same preference for fashion. On our 16th birthday, during my birthday party, I sneakily took some cake to her. I asked her if she had a wish. "I wish I could live one day in your shoes," and she blew out the candle. I suggested that she went upstairs as me, Tammy. We changed clothes, and she went upstairs. and everyone started singing happy birthday. No one realized that it wasn't really me, not even my parents. Since our 16th birthday, we would swap places a lot more. Eliza was a genius. Once she even went to school like me. Our maths teacher wrote a difficult equation on the board. Eliza put up her hand to try it out. "Tammy, are you sure you want to give this a go?" the teacher asked. "Yes, I'm sure." And Eliza got it right. Everybody cheered. We agreed that Eliza would do academics at school, and I would do sports and social. At the school's weekly football match, I cheered, and a boy, Sam, caught my eye. He blew a kiss at me. After the game, he asked me out, and we went on a date. Eating ice cream, he kissed me on the cheek and asked me to be his girlfriend. Rushing home, I couldn't wait to tell Eliza, but her reaction was strange. "Oh, Sam? Football star Sam?" She was getting really angry. "Why do you want to date him? He's a total jerk." "Do you even know him?" I yelled back. "Don't forget, we live the same life, Tammy. Your boyfriend is my boyfriend, and your life is my life. Be careful." I pushed Eliza back into her room and locked the door. I didn't go visit her for a few weeks. I saw my mom sneak food into the basement, but they had no idea that I knew their well-kept secret. Sam and I were madly in love. He took me out to dinner one night and gave me a heart-shaped necklace. "It's beautiful. I love it." I removed my key pendant that my brother gave me, and Sam put my new necklace around my neck. We kissed and hugged each other. "I think I'm going to marry you one day, Tammy." I missed Eliza so much and really wanted to tell her about Sam. So that night I went into the basement. As I unlocked the door, I started crying. "I'm so sorry I left you in here for so long." She looked at me with a blunt look on her face. "Don't worry, Tammy. I understand. We're sisters. I can never stay mad at you." She walked towards me and gave me a hug. Then she pushed me onto her bed. My key pendant fell on the floor. She laughed and said, "Have a great time, sis." Then she locked me inside the hidden bedroom and disappeared. I screamed and bashed my fists on the door, but my parents had soundproofed it. No one could hear me. My mom came into the room that night. "Hello, Eliza." I jumped and ran to her. "Mom, it's me, Tammy. Eliza locked me inside this room. Please, let me out." My mom slapped me across the face. "Stop trying to get out of here, Eliza. You know it's better for you to stay inside." I cried, but my mom didn't believe me. My mom would visit me every night thinking that I was Eliza. "What's wrong with Eliza?" I asked my mom after a few weeks. "Eliza, you're not mentally stable. You know this. You attempted to hurt your sister many times before when you were younger. It was better to keep the two of you apart." Oh no, my loving sister was a total psycho. I accepted the fact that I might never see the light of day again. Even if I screamed and explained, my mom still didn't believe me. On our 17th birthday, Eliza finally visited me. She was wearing a black hoodie, black pants, and had loads of makeup on. "Let's swap clothes," she demanded. I did as she told me. "Go upstairs, Tammy. Enjoy your life." I was so happy to have my life back that I ran upstairs without asking questions. This year, there wasn't a birthday party. I ran to my bedroom. What had she done to my room? She painted the walls black and it looked like a graveyard. "Brother?" I went into my brother's room. He wasn't there. "Mom!" I ran downstairs. "Where's Max?" My mom was crying. "Tammy, your brother was hurt. Someone has hurt him." "What? When?" "Down by the park. A stranger hit him over the head with a blunt object. No one saw anything." The next day at school, everybody was looking at me. They were whispering and pointing at me. I thought it was because of what had happened to Max. I saw Sam. I missed him so much. I ran up to him and wanted to give him a kiss. "Don't you ever come near me again, Tammy!" And he shoved me out of the way. As I entered the classroom, my teacher said, "Tammy, another exam failed? You've really disappointed me." Eliza had completely destroyed my life. No one would talk to me. I wasn't part of the cheerleading squad anymore, and apparently, I've dropped out of all of my sports teams. I cried in my bed that night. Then I felt something hard underneath the pillow. It was a rock. It was used to hurt someone. Did Eliza hurt Max too? I couldn't take this torture from Eliza anymore. I ran downstairs to confront her, but her room was gone. The door was now closed, and in its place was a wall. They never found the person who hurt Max. And luckily, everything went back to normal at school. Sam and I even made up, and he told me that he still wants to marry me. Even after asking my parents about Eliza, they never told me the truth, and were still pretending that she never existed. Sam and I moved away from our hometown to start a new life somewhere else. He was the only one that believed my story about Eliza. Some days it feels like Eliza's watching me. Even when I'm walking in a shopping mall and my eyes catch my reflection in a mirror, I gasp because I think it's her. I don't know what happened to her. Sam and I would move around quite a lot in fear that Eliza would find us and destroy our relationship again, like she did in the past. One holiday, Sam and I went to visit my parents. I spotted a letter on their counter from a mental institution. Turns out Eliza was permanently admitted and was being cared for under strict supervision. Sam and I could finally relax and start our own family. And guess what? I found out today that I'm pregnant with twins.